Yo, listen. One of the most fascinating things about All in the Family is that it did not stay the same show for 9 seasons. Nah, for real. A lot of legendary sitcoms basically freeze themselves in time. The characters never truly evolve. The emotional dynamics never permanently change. Every season just resets the formula again and again because networks fear audiences getting uncomfortable. But yo, All in the Family did something way more ambitious. It evolved. And honestly, I think that evolution is one of the reasons the series still feels more emotionally alive than most sitcoms decades later. Because across 9 seasons, this show transformed from explosive social revolution into something quieter, sadder, deeper, and unexpectedly human. Welcome back, everybody. And today we are diving deep into the complete evolution of All in the Family across all 9 seasons and why the changing emotional identity of the show became one of the most fascinating character journeys television has ever attempted. Because trust me, this was never simply a sitcom running out of ideas. This was a television universe growing older in real time. And now for real, very few shows have ever allowed that to happen honestly. Now check this out, because when season 1 begins in 1971, the series arrives like a bomb exploding inside American television. Before Norman Lear created All in the Family sitcoms, mostly avoided real social conflict. Families stayed emotionally safe. Politics stayed hidden. Arguments stayed harmless. Then suddenly Archie Bunker storms into living rooms screaming about race feminism, religion class anxiety, and generational change with unbelievable realism. Boom! Television changes forever. Season 1 feels raw, dangerous, and confrontational because the show itself is challenging the entire medium directly. And yo, one of my biggest hot takes is this. Season 1 may still be the single most revolutionary sitcom season ever produced because it forced television to grow up emotionally overnight. That first year established the core identity of the series. America arguing with itself through one family. Now let us talk about Season 2 because, yo, this is where the revolution becomes mainstream. The first season shocked viewers. Season 2 becomes the #1 show in America. That changes everything. Suddenly, the most controversial sitcom on television also becomes the most popular. And now for real, one of the most important things about Season 2 is confidence. The writers, actors, and audience now understand the formula works. So the show pushes harder. The arguments sharpen. The performances deepen. Archie Bunker transforms from shocking experiment into national symbol. This season proves audiences actually want emotionally honest television, more than executives realized previously. That success permanently changes the industry. Now check this out, because by season 3, something extraordinary happens. The series perfects itself. Seriously. Gene, Rob, Sally. The chemistry becomes almost supernatural during this year. Every character fully clicks into place emotionally. The writing balances comedy, pain, political conflict, and family realism perfectly. One of my biggest opinions is that Season 3 represents the absolute peak of sitcom television, because every creative element reaches maximum power simultaneously. This is the golden age fully realized. And yo, listen, Seasons 4 and 5 continue that impossible momentum. Most revolutionary shows fade quickly after success arrives. All in the Family somehow stays fearless. That is incredible. Season 4 proves the show can remain groundbreaking even after becoming mainstream national television. Season 5 sustains the emotional and political intensity while deepening Archie psychologically underneath the comedy. During these middle golden years, the series evolves from pure social satire into something richer. Archie increasingly reveals loneliness, fear, and emotional insecurity beneath the anger. Increasingly reveals hidden strength and moral wisdom beneath the warmth. The characters stop feeling like symbolic representatives of political ideas and start feeling like fully real people. That transformation matters enormously. And now for real. One of the things Norman Lear ever did was allowing emotional complexity to grow naturally instead of repeating earlier shock value forever. Now check this out, because the biggest structural evolution begins around season 6. Yo! This is where the post-era slowly starts. Michael begins fading away from the household dynamic, and suddenly the emotional ecosystem changes completely. Earlier seasons thrived on explosive ideological warfare between Archie and Meathead constantly. Without that tension, the series evolves into something quieter, more introspective, and more psychologically reflective. A lot of viewers originally interpreted this as decline. But honestly, I think something more interesting happened. The show started aging. And now, for real, that emotional aging gives the later years unique power. Another huge hot take. I honestly believe later-era Archie becomes more psychologically fascinating precisely because the shouting starts fading away. Without Michael constantly provoking political explosions, Archie increasingly turns inward emotionally. Fear of aging, fear of irrelevance, fear of loneliness. These feelings become more visible underneath the bluster. And Yo plays this evolution beautifully. Now let us talk about Gloria leaving, because Sally disappearing changes the atmosphere of the house dramatically too. Gloria functioned as an emotional bridge between everybody. She loved Archie, loved Michael, loved, and constantly absorbed tension from every direction. Once Gloria fades away, the house itself starts feeling quieter and emotionally emptier. That realism becomes incredibly important to the later evolution of the series. Because real families do change this way. Children leave. Homes grow quieter. Parents age emotionally. Most sitcoms avoid that reality completely. All in the Family embraced it. And now, for real, that honesty makes the later seasons much richer than many people remember. Now check this out, because by seasons 7 and 8, the show fully transforms into something different from the original revolutionary years. Earlier seasons captured America screaming at itself politically. Later seasons explore what happens emotionally after the shouting begins fading. The packing slows slightly. The atmosphere grows more reflective. Archie and's marriage becomes more central emotionally. The series increasingly examines routine, dependency, loneliness, and aging. One of my biggest opinions is that these later years accidentally become one of television's earliest emotional studies about aging family life. That psychological depth feels remarkably modern now. And listen, becomes even more essential during this period. Seriously, earlier years sometimes allowed viewers to underestimate her because Archie dismissed her constantly. Later seasons reveal the truth clearly. Is the emotional soul holding everything together? Her warmth keeps the household human. Her compassion stabilizes Archie emotionally. Her quiet wisdom becomes increasingly visible. And now for real, watching the evolution across 9 seasons makes its importance more heartbreaking with every year. Now let us talk about Season 9 because this final year feels like transition itself becoming part of the storytelling. The revolutionary energy of the early 70s fades into emotional uncertainty. The house feels older, quieter, more fragile. Archie increasingly feels disconnected from the world changing around him. And honestly, one of the things about Season 9 is that it refuses fake nostalgia completely. The show does not pretend the old dynamics still exist unchanged. It embraces emotional reality. Families evolve. People drift apart. Energy changes. That honesty prepares the audience for Archie Bunker's place afterward naturally. And now for real, you can already sense future loneliness underneath Archie's routines during the final season. Another huge hot take. I honestly think the evolution of All in the Family across 9 seasons mirrors America itself during the 1970s. The early years explode with conflict, revolution, and ideological warfare. The later years drift into exhaustion, reflection, uncertainty, and emotional fragmentation. That historical realism gives the entire series extraordinary depth. Another fascinating thing about the evolution is how the show slowly shifts genres emotionally, without audiences always noticing immediately. The early seasons function primarily as revolutionary political sitcom. The middle years become emotionally layered family drama mixed with social satire. The later years evolve into reflective character study about aging dependency and emotional survival. That transformation is incredibly ambitious. And very few television shows before or after attempted long-term evolution this honestly. Another huge opinion I have is that All in the Family succeeded because Norman Lear treated characters like real human beings instead of sitcom machines. Real people age. Real families change. Real relationships weaken or deepen over time. The series respected those truths. That emotional realism is why the evolution across 9 seasons still feels alive decades later. And now for real, modern television still struggles to capture long-term character change this authentically sometimes. Another fascinating detail is how the physical bunker house itself evolves emotionally across the series. Early years feel crowded, chaotic, loud, and constantly under pressure. Later years feel quieter, older, and more intimate. The environment changes alongside the characters psychologically. That subtle storytelling is extraordinary. And listen. One reason the series remains timeless is because every era captures different emotional truths. The early seasons understand social conflict. The middle years understand family complexity. The later years understand aging, loneliness, and transition. Together, all 9 seasons form one giant portrait of America and family life, changing over time. That scope is astonishing. So when people talk about the evolution of All in the Family across 9 seasons, they are talking about much more than a sitcom staying on television a long time. They are talking about one of the most emotionally ambitious character evolutions the medium has ever attempted. The revolution begins. The family explodes. The arguments peak. The household changes. The children leave. The silence grows louder. Archie grows older, becomes the emotional center, and the entire series slowly transforms from political warfare into deeply human reflection. That is greatness. Tell me in the comments which era of All in the Family you connect with most, because honestly, every phase of the show captures something emotionally true about American life. And yo, drop a like if you believe the full 9 season evolution makes the series even more powerful than just remembering the early classic years, because trust me, I absolutely believe that. Subscribe for more deep dives into classic television history, because we still need to explore Archie Bunker's Place the Norman Lear universe and the episodes that transformed television forever. And remember this, All in the Family did not stay frozen in time. It evolved the same way real families and real people always do.